The grave bell. The bell rang at midnight. But no one was supposed to be buried alive anymore. Jen had always been fascinated by the old cemetery on the outskirts of town. It was a place most people avoided after dusk, a sprawling graveyard of cracked tombstones, rusted gates, and twisted oak trees whose branches clawed at the night sky like skeletal fingers. But what drew her was the history, the stories whispered by old-timers about forgotten souls and strange happenings. Among all the graves, one plot stood out. It was the oldest, fenced in by a rusted iron barrier, with weathered stones leaning at odd angles. Nobody went near it, and the caretakers never mentioned it. The locals said the ground itself seemed restless there. One crisp October night, as the clock struck midnight, Jen wandered alone under a crescent moon, drawn inexplicably toward that forbidden spot. She heard it first as a faint ringing, a bell. A bell? In a cemetery? She strained her ears. The sound grew louder, clear and metallic, echoing through the silence like a death knell. At the edge of the oldest plot, swinging gently on a crooked post, was an old brass bell, tarnished and green with age, moving as if caught in a ghostly breeze. She remembered the stories. Long ago, before modern coffins and medical advancements, some graves were equipped with bells tied to cords leading to the coffin. A warning system for anyone buried alive. If the bell rang, the gravedigger would know to dig again. A chill ran down her spine. Tentatively, Jen reached out and touched the bell. The ringing stopped abruptly. Suddenly, the air grew heavy and cold. And then, from beneath the ground, came scratching. At first, soft, like fingernails clawing dirt. Then a voice, hoarse and desperate. "Help me." Jen's heart hammered in her chest. She stumbled back, her breath coming in ragged gasps. She wanted to run. But her feet felt rooted in place. The scratching grew louder, frantic. "Help me." The bell began to ring again, faster this time. Jen turned and fled. That night, she couldn't sleep. Every time she closed her eyes, she heard the bell ringing in her mind. The scratching under her bed. The desperate voice whispering, "Help me." The next day, she tried to tell people. The caretaker laughed nervously, dismissing her. "It's just the wind," he said. But Jen knew better. Night after night, the bell rang. Louder. Closer. Sometimes, she swore she saw a pale hand clawing out of the dirt, fingers twitching as if trapped beneath. And the scratching never stopped. She avoided the cemetery, but the pull was stronger every time. One evening, the bell tolled so fiercely it shattered windows across town. Neighbors reported seeing a faint glow at the oldest plot. And a scream, raw and human. When Jen failed to show up for work, a search party formed. They found her purse and shoes at the edge of the cemetery. No sign of Jen. But the ground near the oldest grave had changed. A fresh mound, covered with loose dirt. Beside it, a bell, tied with thick, rough rope to the iron post. The bell was new. Polished. Shining in the pale moonlight. The next night, the bell rang again at midnight. Only this time, it was louder than ever. closer than ever. And the scratching beneath the earth? It grew frantic, desperate to be heard. The townsfolk say the bell never stops ringing. And if you listen closely at midnight, you can hear the faintest whisper on the wind. Help me. And sometimes, if you look carefully at the graveyard's oldest plot, you might see a figure standing at the edge of the mound. Pale, silent. Watching. Waiting. If you ever hear the grave bell ring, don't go searching for who's calling. Because some dead aren't ready to stay buried. And some graves hold secrets that refuse to rest. Once you hear the bell, it never stops ringing.